Well, hello there, all you amazing people. We're going to talk about the slow death of Windows. Ooh, Windows is dying. We've all seen the trend of this website stats counter from Linux channels, Mac channels, stuff that's saying, oh, Windows is slowly going down from 90 something to 60 something percent, and then it goes up again after a while. But it's slowly going down, and they all are like, oh, it's because Windows is taking over the world. It's because Mac OS is taking over the world, and no. There's actually a really good reason for it, and it has to do a little bit with what you're seeing here: mobiles, desktop, and tablets. Desktop versus mobiles versus tablet market share worldwide. As you can see, mobiles are not vastly, but they are somewhat, more popular or used more than desktop. That also means that the sites that these kind of sites, or the traffic that these kind of sites, or the metrics that these kind of sites are gathering from, aka the internet, well, more mobile phones are using it, but if you're only tracking OS, you're not tracking mobile phones. You're only comparing Windows with Linux, with Mac OS. One of them are going up, some of them are going up a little bit. What's going on here? Why is Windows strengthening so much? And if you only look at the desktop market, which is a slowly dying market, you're not really getting the whole picture here. What you only are getting is what is happening within the desktop market. You're not really seeing why is Windows not so popular anymore. Or why are people not using Windows so much anymore? Because you have to look at how are people using information technology, how are they accessing the web, how are they using applications, and blah, 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 blah. And that is, they're using other devices. They're using tablets, they're using mobile phones. That's the future. I know a lot of you nerds out there right now is going to cavitate me and run away with my head and yell and scream that I'm a pagan and heathen and what have you not for saying that. But here's the thing. The big old beige box that's black nowadays with tinted windows and a lot of LEDs is almost on its last legs. The technology is outdated, the CPU technology is outdated, the GPU technology is outdated. Everything that we are running on a computer, traditional computer right now, is too big, too slow, too resource hungry, and only have really a select few use cases. Like, if you are a massive programmer that compiles and do a lot of crazy fucking shit, you may need a desktop. If you are synthesizing binary DNA sequences and stuff like that, you need a desktop. Not for long, but for now, you need a desktop. If you are rendering a lot of videos or editing a lot of videos, you kinda, but not really need a desktop, because DaVinci Resolve, tablet supported, Premiere Pro, tablet supported, Final Cut Pro, tablet supported, if I'm not mistaken. The only reason that you may need gaming, the only reason that there's a really good argument for having a big, power-hungry space heater on your desk nowadays is gaming. Gaming is still way better under a Windows or Linux machine than on a tablet. Not for most people, because most people nowadays are growing up with playing on their tablet and their phone, but traditional gaming is still best done either on a console and or on a computer. Anything else you do on a daily basis, and there are channels on YouTube dedicated to living on a tablet only or mobile only. I will put some down below in the description so you can watch them. You don't really need a desktop anymore, so why would you buy an expensive desktop when I can get a tablet for half the price to do everything I need to do? More mobile, I can put a keyboard on it, I can put a mouse on it, I can do everything I want. And if I may need a computer, why would I buy a big box with LEDs that keeps me up at night and running away with my girlfriend because it's way more prettier than I am, when I can get a laptop that, again, is more portable? I can take it with me to work and stuff like that. I can work from home really easily via laptop and etc, etc, etc. And by the way, desktops and laptops are one in this scenario here. Laptops is also dying out in favor of tablets and mobile phones. That is why Windows is dying. It's not because Linux is taking over. Yes, Linux market share is going up a little bit. It's not because Mac OS is taking over, even though that's also going up a little bit. It's because of tablets and mobile phones. And if you don't believe me, there's another site here from Kinsta that actually, let's take my firstborn. There you go. I clicked accept, my friend. That talk about here what percentage of internet traffic is mobile. When in 2016, more of it, or more mobile traffic was at 31%. Now it's actually way higher. And you can see here desktop traffic, 55% of worldwide online visit comes from mobile phones. Not that much traffic. This is the one that's actually really, really interesting. Web traffic is nearly 49% mobile and 48% desktop. Another study indicates that 63% of online traffic comes from smartphones or tablet, making it even more prevalent. And if you look at all of these statistics here, all of these stats here, like if you take Europe here, in all of Europe, traffic comes from nearly 51% desktop devices, but mobile is close behind at 46 in additional mobile traffic. Data use in Western Europe has increased by 569% since 2016. In Central Europe, the numbers are similar, 568%. I don't know how I can cut this out more delicately without angering all of the desktop lovers out there. We are living in a transitional age when it comes to how people are gathering and using technology. Mobile phones and tablets are the future. And a lot of the reasons why that is, it's this little fucking thing here. USB-C or USB 3.0 Gen 2. Thunderbolt 4, USB 4. You can get this one here if it's the correct controller in the phone. Can handle up to 10 gigabytes per second. So that means that I can actually put an external graphic card into this one here, get really good performance. If you're running Thunderbolt 4, we are talking 40 gigabytes per second on a connection like this. But there are a lot of people on the Mac side, on the Windows side, putting external GPUs on their laptops to game on them and stuff like that. So if you are one of those say, oh, graphic cards are the reason why we need a computer, you put it in close on this one. Is it expensive? Yeah, it's fucking expensive, do it. But most people that are gaming on a device like this, they are happy with the gaming experience on this. They don't need 4K, 40-inch fucking screen on your face. And if they want that, they plug a dongle up here, plug it into their screen, and then they connect an Xbox controller that happens to have here to their smartphone or tablet, and they play Genshin Impact till their fucking nuts falls off, or whatever other, Diablo Immortal, the worst fucking game ever made by Bethesda, or not Bethesda, but Blizzard. Well, one of them anyway. And why would I want a big fucking computer that takes, like this one here, my phone running at full tilt, probably use a tenth of my computer use when it's idle. So I'm saving a shit ton of battery or money on electricity. And it's an interesting read here down here. How much time do people spend online, mobile versus desktop? So you see here, well, people do spend more time on a desktop than on a mobile phone or tablet. It kind of makes sense. There's another one down here that I found really, really, really interesting. Mobile internet, average daily time spent in the US apps versus browsers from 2018 to 2022. Most people spend a ridiculously amount of time on the internet via apps than using the browser. So that's Instagram, Netflix, anything basically connected to the internet that's an app. We love apps. We love apps. We love apps. What is a device that is app-driven? This here or tablets? Mobile phones and tablets are app-driven. It's a really, really interesting thing here. Am I saying that everyone should now go out? I'll keep this up here for you guys so you can pause or read this while I'm talking here, because it is really interesting. Am I saying that you should now just kick your fucking desktop out of the window, like break up with it, just do it via text your fucking desktop while you're at work and say you better be off my property when I come home, or else I will kick you to the fucking dogs and pigs and stuff like that? No. If you are happy with your desktop right now, if you like doing your desktop-y things right now, and you're a gamer, or you just like the tinkering nature of desktops, there's still a market for it right now. It's still widely used. It's still, like I said, I think the statistic that all the Linux users like to use is that Windows is 90 or 64%. I don't even know. Let's look at the market share for Windows. So it's 69. So it's actually went up a little bit from 62 to 69. And you have this unknown here. And unknown, I know a lot of people say unknown has to be Linux, and FreeBSD people say unknown has to be FreeBSD, and the Windows fans say unknown has to be Windows. No, unknown, we don't know what it is. So to do a fair comparison, you take the unknown and you equally put that into each and every one share. So we have like 1, 2 Chrome OS, 1, 2, 3, 4. So unknown is divided by 4, and they each get 1/4 of the unknown, because you cannot say with a certainty what it is. Could it be that most of unknowns is Linux? Yeah. Could it be that most of unknowns is Haiku or FreeBSD? Yeah. But we don't know. We cannot just say, oh, because I'm a fan of this OS, therefore unknown is that. No. The most fair comparison, or the most fair thing to do is basically divide unknown into 4 equally big packages and divide that over the OS that it talks about here. But Windows is at 69, the good old 69. So we still have a lot of, there's still a lot of people using desktops. What is the good old Mac OS? It's like 21%. And Chrome OS and Linux is 3.22. It went up a little bit. What is Chrome OS? Chrome OS is 3.71. It's like almost nobody gives a fuck kind of territories. But Mac OS is getting up there. Quite up there, more than I actually realized. But Windows is still 69%, So your computer is not obsolete tomorrow. Your computer that you can't use it and you cannot have the joys of the computing world and building computer system. Like channels like Chase2Send, Bitwit, and all of those, hardware, Paul's hardware channels are an indicator that they still get a lot of fucking views, Gamers Nexus, they get massive views per video talking about computer hardware. So of course there is still, a reason to have your computer, and there's still a big market for computer hardware and desktop computers now. But the trend is this over the last 10-ish years, and it will just expand more and more and more, is that mobiles, handheld devices, they are taking over the world. If you want to see what the next thing is going to be in tech, you look at what the teenagers and kids are using nowadays. Every teenager and kid, they don't sit around with a laptop. They run around with a phone and tablet. My generation, the laptops when I was like a teenager were not that fucking good. But it was computers. Not everyone, but people had a computer. There were like a computer per house almost, at least in the developed world. Or they had a laptop. Then when I get into like university age and stuff like that, everyone ran around with a laptop. The good old Bates box was kind of slowly being taken over by the laptops, because we could use them at studies, we could take them with us to our friends and stuff. The laptops was basically the tablets of my generation, even though I'm also in the tablet generation. But before tablets, laptops was what tablets are today. And it slowly, I saw that with my friends, more and more of my friends, they were like changing. Every time they had to upgrade their computer, they sold it and bought a laptop. And that also means that the wife could have a laptop, the boyfriend could have a laptop, the mistress could have a laptop, the dog could have a laptop. And they could all sit there and talk about how the each and every one of them were fucking bad in bed. I hope not the dog is typing that, because if you're doing that to the dog, you may need to seek a little bit of help here, just putting it out. But everyone, like when I was up with my friends, the girlfriend and boyfriend, they were both sitting there with the fucking fingers on a laptop nowadays when you go up visiting your friends. Both spouses are sitting with their face in their mobile phone or tablet. When I visit my brother, he's doing his PlayStation, the girlfriend is doing tablet or television, and their friends, everyone is fucking planning their face in a mobile device nowadays. That was laptop like in the early 2000s to like 2011 or something like that, when the laptops or tablets are really, really kicked off. And that's the trend you see. Look at what the young people are using right now, because when they become our age, they are the one making decisions. They are the one developing software. They are the one, guiding the technology field. So if you grew up with big Bates boxes, well, you like using them, you are more inclined to develop for them, and you're also more inclined to then go and recommend them in places that you work or friend circles and stuff like that. If you grew up with a mobile phone and tablets, you are more inclined, if they can do that job, to recommend them for businesses, friends and families and stuff like that. Desktop will probably die way sooner on the consumer side than they will on the corporate side, because the corporate world is slow to adopt. Governments and offices and the corporate are really slow to change, so you cannot look at that as the indicator. I will bet that most of you guys and girls watching this video are spending more time on your mobile phones and tablets than your computer. Not everyone, but most. It's not your laptop or your computer that you're watching on your 31-hour commute to your work. It's your phone or tablet. When you're taking a fucking massive dump in the morning and the spouse is yelling at you for not taking out the trash, you're not sitting there with the fucking massive fucking 32-inch screen and LED keyboards and gamer mouses out on the throne playing Call of Duty. You're more than likely either sitting with a Nintendo Switch, tablet, or game. Maybe you have a Steam Deck or something like that. You're not sitting with your computer. There's a little bit of an argument to say that, well, that kind of means that a Linux derivative OS is about to beat Windows. And I'm not saying Android is Linux. It's not. It's a fork. It's a derivative. If you say Android is Linux, then macOS is FreeBSD, and that makes FreeBSD way more popular than Linux, by the way. It makes it, well, 21% of the market share. Because Android has just as much in common with Linux as macOS has with FreeBSD. So for all of you that say that Android is Linux, congratulations, you just made FreeBSD the second most popular fucking operating system in the world. But Windows death, or slow death, is not because of Linux. It's not because of macOS. It's because of tablets and mobile phones. See you all later. Bye bye.